Good morning. Hello, Michael and Roger and Helen, Nan and Bruce, Christopher, Charles, Carol, Kathleen, Cheryl, Las Cruces, Santa Rosa, Fort Lauderdale, Port Charlotte. Thank you for letting us know where you're tuning in from. Albuquerque. There's Jim and Leandra and Roger and Joseph and Kathleen, Juanita. Oh, so many names now that are coming too fast for me to read them. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our 6 a.m. daily spiritual practice, a little devotional practice guided by the book 365 Science of Mind. That's the title of the book. A year of daily wisdom from Ernest Holmes. Now we're on November 29, so almost at the end of November, and then one more month, and we will have completed the 365 days of inspiration. Now, today's reading is entitled Illumination. And if you are from the Christian tradition or the Jewish tradition, then you will likely recognize a lot of references in today's reading that will make sense to you. So if you're not from the Christian or the Jewish tradition, then perhaps the writing may need some explanation, and that's fair enough. So let's see if we can make it accessible to everyone as much as possible. It starts off with a psalm, which is from the Jewish tradition, Psalm 24. Now, this is a psalm that I have not yet studied deeply myself or unpacked. The words are familiar to me from my Catholic origins, upbringing. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be lifted up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. But there's lovely resources if digging into the Psalms or the Bible is of interest to you. Did you know that you can look up, just type the name Psalm 24, Wikipedia, and there is an entry in Wikipedia for every psalm with wonderful resource background reading, historic references, explanations of the text. And also, you can go to BibleGateway.com. And what I like about that site is you can look at, for example, Psalm 24 in the King James Version, in Modern English Version, in the Living Bible Version, in the New American Standard Version, and you can see all the different renditions of one text and can nerd out on that if that is of interest to you. So there's that. Now, the idea of beatitude and a holy light emanating from us is referred to in this text, and particularly the phrase, let your light so shine before people that they may see your good works and glorify your parent who is in heaven. So that is that's from Matthew, and it's from a very famous part of the Christian scriptures called the Beatitudes of Jesus. So when we get to that part, we'll pause and I will read the Beatitudes to you. Also in this text, I told you there's a lot of references. Ernest Holmes, who uses the term Christ, meaning the anointed one, he uses it to describe a consciousness of unity with the divine, of which he thought Jesus of Nazareth was the best example. That's according to Ernest Holmes. Now, Christ in the Christian tradition is referred to also as the bridegroom, with the spiritual community, the church, being the bride. So it's this idea of this unity, and then the bridegroom takes the bride, the spiritual community, home to meet the parents. In this particular reading today, Ernest Holmes likens that state of unified consciousness as the bridegroom. And he calls the bridegroom, this unified consciousness, he calls it his true self. So he's describing a marriage between the immortal and the mortal, the inner and the outer, the personal self and the divine self. So all of that is going on through subtle references in today's reading, okay? So let's go for it. The gates that we have to open, Ernest Holmes writes, represents the place in our consciousness where the divine flows into the human. The light that the saintly artists of medieval times painted around people, the halo, represents the lifting up of these gates. Illumination or cosmic consciousness is a reality, and this is what Jesus referred to when he said, "Let your light so shine before people that they may see your good works and glorify your parent who is in heaven." That is from the Beatitudes, well, just after the Beatitudes. And the Beatitudes say this: "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the gentle, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see the divine. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of the divine. Blessed are those who have been persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you and persecute you and falsely say all kinds of things about you because of your relationship with the divine. Your reward is in the state of consciousness." Then a few parts later he says this part about letting your light so shine. Okay, so here is our meditative reading. Today I lift up my awareness to the spiritual light. And as I do so, I know that the glory of the divine flows through me, comes into me. Today, as I move about the world, I keep this inner light bright. I think of it as the candle of the divine, trimmed and burning. I think of this unified consciousness, the Christ consciousness, as the bridegroom to my true self, to myself. And as I think about this, I experience a radiance, a brightness from within me and also from everywhere around me. I think of this light, this divine light, as coming from the very center of everything. And as I move about the world today, I speak to my deeper self saying there is no darkness in this light, this inner light. And from this inner light, I see everything in its true nature. I'm guided, directed, and inspired by it. And taking a deeper breath, begin to allow the movement of the breath to introduce me to the activity of the space I'm in. And as I move about the day to day, I carry with me the remembrance of our time together and the image of the light, like this candle burning, glowing from within and guiding me. Have a blessed day. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.